This video is an analysis of the Disney Magic Key lawsuit from a Magic Key holder. Hi, my name is Adam Juratovac, and I've been an annual pass holder, and now I'm a Magic Key holder. So first things first, I want to tell everyone how I became an annual pass holder, or I guess before we can start there, how I fell in love with Disney. Gosh, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the best time I've ever been to Disneyland. I think I was in first grade. I remember that. I was in first grade, which means I was 5, 6 years old at the time. And it was just magical. I remember seeing Toontown. I remember going on Space Mountain. And I remember just having a really good time with family during that day. And the teacups. Don't forget the teacups. And It's a Small World. Gosh, my mom, it felt like she had everything booked. She had the fast passes, and this was in the 90s. So, kids, before we had apps, we had to go wait in lines to get fast passes. And, that was the first time I went to Disneyland. I recently started going back to Disneyland with my friend Lisa, and, she got me to fall in love with Disneyland again. And so I quickly became an annual pass holder back in 2017 and 2018. No, all the way up until COVID. And she and I loved going down to Disneyland, which is why when these Dream Keys and the Magic Keys came out, we were on top of it. We both got the Dream Key. I got this in the mail a couple months ago, but I'm just getting around to opening it now. So you get to see that too. So one thing is when we were planning our trips, because we went down there frequently post-COVID, right? Well, not frequently for post-COVID. I remember when she and I had to look up dates, which dates we wanted to go to Disneyland, because we had to book dates. And I remember it was really tough. It was really hard. There was a lot of dates that were blocked out. And by the way, I have a Dream Key, so I have the highest tier pass, which is, I think they were advertising it for $13.99 at the time. And they said there would be no blackout dates, or, very few, right? And it would always be subjected to how many Dream Key or Magic Key holders could be in the park that day. But I remember when I first started, once I first got my Dream Key and I started seeing which dates I could go attend and which days I can go visit, I was pretty disappointed at how few dates they had available. I will admit that. I was able to plan a trip or two after having my Dream Key. But what was really weird was that I opened up my app to check out the available dates I could go to Disneyland or DCA, California Adventure, that were available were different than the dates that Lisa was showing that were available. So that was really interesting because I remember we were both looking at times to go during the Christmas holidays, for the Festival of Holidays. I already went to the Festival of Holidays, so I'm good. But we were looking to go to the Festival of Holidays and, during Christmas time, and she didn't find any dates. But when I opened up my app, when I clicked on the button to reserve the dates and you open up to that browser, it showed that 5 days leading up to Christmas had availability. 5 days after Christmas had availability. Cool. You get like a Magic Key. You get a Magic Key, literally a pin. You get the lanyard. And you get another pin. And then you get a map. Oh, this is cool. Oh, cool. Then you get one of these. Oh, nice. You get a magnet. Let's look at this thing when you open up a map. So I have a Magic Key. I think I could prove I have a Magic Key now. All right, now I have a pin. So we already know about the lawsuit. The plaintiff is alleging that Disney has artificially restricted the amount of Magic Key holders that can enter into the park at any given time, thus treating the Magic Key holders like second-class ticket holders. Now, there are a lot of people who are alleged to be injured in this action, which are all of the people who own Magic Keys, which I believe the complaint says there is around 3,600 people. Now, as you can see, I'm a Magic Key holder, and I'm not going to enter this class action without receiving a formal notice. So I'm going to keep you updated on what it's going to look like throughout this process as this plaintiff and her attorneys try to certify for a class action lawsuit. Now, we're going to talk about a class action lawsuit when we get there, but we're not there yet. But what I want to talk about is the update on the case, right? And I'm not talking about the facts. I'm talking about litigation. I'm talking about trial attorney stuff. I'm talking about the strategy behind where the case is going to go here and there. It started out in California Superior Court. You have a lawsuit. The plaintiff has to file a complaint in Superior Court. They need to send that complaint and the summons to the defendants. And in this case, the defendants was probably the Walt Disney Corporation. When you start a lawsuit, it typically starts with a plaintiff filing a court complaint, right? We kind of know about that. Now, after they shoot the court complaint over, they have to serve the defendants. So the defendants, after they get served properly, have 30 days to file a responsive notice. They have to file something back to the other side. They have to file something with the courts. Now, there's a few things that you could file. You can file an answer. You can file a responsive pleading like a demur or a motion to strike. But one thing that Disney did, which was, I think, a really good strategy, to be honest, is they filed a notice of removal. So what that means is Disney filed to remove that case from Superior Court to Federal Court. So instead of playing in the California Superior Courts, Disney and the plaintiffs are going to be dancing toe-to-toe in federal courts. All right, so we're here, and I figured out how to put a pop-up screen next to me. So this is the front page of the notice of removal, and I'm going to go through some of the sections here. All right, so first thing you got to look at is on the upper left-hand side, which these are the attorneys who are filing this document. And as you can see here, they're filing this notice of removal in the United States District Court, Central District of California. And the Central District of California covers a lot of California, including a lot of LA County. So the attorneys for Walt Disney Parks and Resorts remove this case from state court to federal court. So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages about state court and federal court, and really there's a lot of different strategic reasons why you would want to be in each. Personally, I'm not going to tell you which court I prefer, but just know that I used to play offensive line in college, so I like a lot of rules. I'm going to put a question in the comments, and then let me know which court you think I prefer practicing in. So now we know that Disney removed that action from state court to federal court. Let's talk about how. And the reason the federal court has jurisdiction is because one of the causes of action the plaintiff sued under is under the Class Action Fairness Act, which is a federal code. It's a federal statute. And because the plaintiff sued with at least one federal cause of action, Disney's attorneys were able to rip it out of the state's courts and put it in federal courts because there's a federal subject matter at hand. So here's the question. Where are we in the litigation timeline? Like, are we at the early stages, the middle stages, the high stages? And the answer is we're at the very early stages right now. So to put in sports references, we're not even at first base yet. The plaintiffs filed the lawsuit, and the defendants had 30 days to file a responsive pleading. And within 30 days, the responsive pleading that the defendants filed was not an answer, was not a demur, but instead was a motion to remove, like a notice of removal, to remove that complaint from state superior court to federal district court. And now, since that case has been removed to federal court, the defendants now have an additional timeline to file another responsive pleading. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to file. They can file an answer, which means they're going to answer all of the allegations that in the plaintiff's complaint. They could file a motion to strike. They could file a motion to dismiss. I'm very interested to see what they're going to file, because if you get to this point, it's very strategic, right? All of these moves that are happening in this trial game are made for a reason, and it's to make the process most efficient as possible, but it's also to get the most evidence out and put the most pressure on the other side, because this is litigation and this is battle. Now, I'm very excited to keep you up to date with where I stand in this Disney Magic Key lawsuit, and I'm also excited to keep you up to date with any notices I receive, because I am a potential member in the class. Stay tuned and you're going to get a fun story. So whenever I go to Disney, I always have like a set amount of foods I eat, and it always seems to increase. You know that Spider-Man ride? Have you been on that Spider-Man ride before? You know, I've been on it like a couple times now, and I swear I can't get the shooting action down to where it's actually where I'm winning out of my booth. You know, I don't need a high score of the day. I don't need a high score of the whole like foursome. I need a high score out of the two, you know, and for some reason, I think my arms are too big. Like I can't move them back and forth fast enough where I'm not winning these games. All right. Thanks everyone for watching this video. And remember to click that like and subscribe button. Remember to hit that little bell right next to subscribe, because I'm going to be paying attention to the litigation strategy in this case. And I will be providing updated videos with what Disney and the plaintiffs are doing. So if you're interested in this Magic Key case, or you're like me and you're a Magic Key holder, stay tuned and subscribe. All right, thank you, and have a magical day.